Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Today, we're going to talk about whether Vechain can get to 5 cents or 50 cents in 2020, how that's going to happen, and how much could utility actually push it up in the future. Not only 2020, but definitely beyond 2020. So, Vechain, I personally believe it can get to 5 cents without any kind of mega bull run by Bitcoin. I do think the environment has to be somewhat bullish. And if you check out my last video on why 2020 will actually be good for crypto, then you'll see why I think VeChain can get to 5 cents on a pretty good bull market for all of crypto. To get to 50 cents, I do believe that Bitcoin has to go kind of like on a parabolic run. And I personally don't think that's going to happen until 2021. So while it's definitely possible in 2020 for Bitcoin to go on a parabolic bull run, I don't actually think that's going to happen in 2020. It'll probably happen in 2021, in my opinion. And in 2021, maybe it will actually push up VeChain to 50 cents. You would probably have to sell it at the top. Otherwise, the price will probably collapse even at that point. So I personally think that while 50 cents is possible for 2020 and a parabolic bull run is possible for 2020, I think 5 cents is actually more likely. So the other question is how much could utility possibly push it up? So this one's actually very hard to answer, and you have to look at VETHO burn rates on VeChain stats. Right now, you're getting roughly 31 million a week in terms of burn, and we know that they generate about 35 million VETHO per day. So we're nowhere near that burn rate, and so the VETHO price doesn't really reflect. Now, the thing is, like, they still have a big storehouse of they have like a big store of VETHO that they've been accumulating for the last year and a half. And even if we surpass 35 million, they can just use that store. So, but the thing is, if we get to 35 million or surpass 35 million, the foundation and the authority nodes, the X nodes, and the economic nodes, they would have to vote on how to change the ecosystem. And I think the most likely way they're going to change the ecosystem is they make VETHO process more transactions, each VETHO process more transactions, which would actually increase the price of VETHO. And since you're generating VETHO with VET, it would increase the price of VET. Now, let's just say like it goes way past 35 million, like 3 years from now, it goes way past 35 million and it gets to like 350 million VETHO burned a day. So each VETHO at that point would have to at least be able to take care of 10 times the transactions that each VETHO takes now to actually make that actually work. And I think it would probably be like 11 or 12 times just to give it some wiggle room. So at that point, each VETHO would have to be at least worth 12 times more than it is now. So it's probably going to be like 6/10 of a cent. And since VETHO is going to be worth 12 times more, VET, the thing that's generating VETHO, should be worth 12 times more as well. And that would be about 6-7 cents. And that's just based on utility value. Now, 6-7 cents is obviously 12 times more. That's still great ROI. But that's 6-7 cents just based on utility value alone. Now, speculation value would probably add like, a couple, maybe 2 or 3x on top of that. So you might get like 20-30 cent VET on speculation value because people still expect it to grow in the future. And that's not really including like a lot of the projects that's going to be deployed on VeChain that might need VET for smart contracts, right? I'm just basing it on the VETHO burn rate. So at that point, when you have like utility value, like pure utility value of like 6 or 7 cents, then you have speculative value on top of that, and then you have a bull run that can run up a lot. Remember, in the last bull run, like everything was just pure speculative value. There was actually no utility value, and even now, there are really no coins besides Bitcoin that have a utility value of above maybe like a penny or so. Everything is basically speculative value. But at that point, in 2 or 3 years from now, if we're burning 350 million VETHO per day, 350 of current VETHO per day. That actually might be, where we actually are. 6 or 7 cents utility value. Of course, everything has to go extremely well for VET for this to actually happen. And I'm not saying it will happen, but if it does, hypothetically, if that happens, you can get 6 or 7 cents just based on utility value, and then the speculation would be way above that. Now, there is a caveat to this, and I might actually be under calculating the price of VETHO, because when it first hits that 35, I'm basically assuming that the price will actually rise linearly, and that may not be true, because when you first hit that 35, there's going to be a supply squeeze, and at the start, price actually might go parabolically for a while. So if that actually happens, then the utility price of Etho may not be 6 or 7 cents. It actually might be like, 20 or 30 cents. Then you have speculation on top of that, and then a bull run on top of that, and that could get, that's how you can get to like $3 or $4 in terms of VET value, within a 5-year timeline. So I actually do think like utility value could possibly push it up to at least 5 or 6 cents within a few years, and then possibly 20 or 30 cents on pure utility value, and then add on that speculation value, and you can have like $1, $2 VET within the next 5 years, which would be an awesome return on investment. So that's what I think that's what I think about Vitho, what I think about the price projections of Vitho, and how utility could actually affect the Vitho and the VET value. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.